You want to, the main thing you want to know is the impact. Who is it impacting and how? And then how do they feel about us helping them out and whatever the cause is. Those are where you get the most emotional answers. You want to go for the impact. So if you're doing something with breast cancer awareness or something, you know, you want to ask them questions like, what's it mean for young men like ours to be helping out in a cause like this? Or, something where they can give you a meaty answer that's gives you impact. That's what you're going for. So I think if you can get 3 solid questions, maybe 4, you're going to get enough response for like a 10-minute interview. And by the time you cut that down, it should be about 3 to 4 minutes. That's what I would do.
Yeah, we have a kind of an interview template, like an interview script almost, that I put together a couple of years ago. I'm going to send that over to Brother Peebles, and Noob, you can make any adjustments or changes that you need to make. And I would suggest that we get as much stuff in writing that the noobs can just refer to.
Right.
So we're going to do that Google Drive thing.
Yeah,
it's got
that's
the script,
cool.
it's got, so people can just come in and refer to it.
Right, because the first thing we want each Kappa Leaguer to do is say who they are and what chapter they're with. I'm Damon Peebles with the Alfred Smyrna Alumni Kappa League, and I'm here with so-and-so, and I'm here doing such and such. So that way we already know who you are, and you kind of branded your chapter. And then when you're done at the end, you can say, reporting for Kappa League TV, I'm so-and-so. So now we know who you are again, and we know you're reporting for Kappa League TV. So even if you wanted to use that as a standalone for your own chapter's YouTube, it's still branded enough where you have that information. So that's kind of the script. You start and end in a certain way, and in the middle is just question and answers. So I want to show this PowerPoint before we run out of time. So basically, I just took a list of some of the things. Can you all see this? Hopefully. This is the first item here, which is a microphone. This particular one is the one my chapter's been using. It's about $50. And we actually do capture audio on this microphone because it's a pretty decent sound quality. But again, you could also get the lapel mics to put on the subject and use the other mic. This particular one I don't have, but I'm about to buy it. It's $30. It actually has the ending piece that comes with the new iPhone.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
See, I had the other one with the regular plug-in, and I couldn't do anything with it. But this one has the kind that goes into your iPhone. So if you go on Amazon and look for it, the pictures on there will show you that they're using a regular iPhone voice memo section to record that audio. And I think it has an adapter where you can plug the other ones up too. So that's not a bad purchase to have in your toolkit. And if you can't get that one, then there's this one like Brother Jones was talking about. It's the standard one. I wouldn't wear it like how they're wearing it with the wire outside the shirt. Try to hide the wire so it looks more professional. I think they're doing that to show you what it looks like. This one's like $20, and this particular one is a dual. So you plug it up into one recorder, it gets both people's audio. So let's say you had the Kappa Leaguer plugged in and the person he's interviewing. You don't have to worry about mixing the audio. It's all captured in one recording. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy that one, but that's not bad for $20. And this particular one here is what we use for a recorder. It's pretty expensive. You can find some cheaper. I like this one because if you look at the top where it says Zoom, above that, there's an audio, a knob. That'll let you adjust the audio. So if the person is speaking too loud, you can turn it down. You don't ever want over-modulated audio because it won't sound good. It's better to be too low than to be too hot because it'll have that muffled sound effect. So I like this particular one. It takes a little memory card, SD card, and you just hit record and you can set it up and make sure that you're getting levels. And it's a good purchase for $99. So I've got that one. That's one of the ones we use. And you can plug up that microphone into that with adapters if your microphone has the XLR cable, you can step it down to a RCA, not RCA, whatever that little one's called, and plug it right in there.
3.5.
And then
Yeah.
if you're going to use a phone, 3.5. There you go. If
Yep.
you're going to use a phone, I would suggest you get a just a stand, a tripod like this, where you can put your phone in, and you know these phones are capturing good video these days. But you want to get it landscape. You want to keep it steady. If you're trying to hold that phone, you're going to see that movement. It looks very amateurish when you see all that movement. So get you a good stand, mount that phone on, so when you do your interview, it's not moving all over the place. And that right there is only $20. Question?
Other people, quick question. So with the video and the audio, like if I record something now, I've got the video and audio coming into one device. It's coming right into my video recorder. Right. But what you're describing is basically having to then pair up or link up the video and audio when you're editing.
That's why when I do recordings, I'll do a clap, which is what you see in movies. That's what that clap is for. It syncs the video and the audio. So when you plug your audio separate and your video, you hear that clap and you can actually see the levels, the audio levels spike. And you know exactly where to line it up so the video and the audio is at the same sync. And then once you hit play and if it's matching, you can just kill the ambient mic, which is the audio that comes off the camera itself, and just use the microphone audio.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
That's a great question. So yeah, it definitely requires a little bit of work, a little bit of editing. But if you plug this microphone, any of these mics, if you plug them directly into your phone or your camera, then you won't have to sync it up because it's capturing the audio into the device where the video is. But I just capture my audio and my video separately. But you can do however, whatever works. So these are just some of the ones that we use. Like I said, you put the, this one's made for like interviews, and you put the mic flag on there, plus the little windscreen, you're good to go. So I can put this in the Google Drive if you want. But again, these are just some of the samples. You can probably find another recorder. I really stand by this one because it's just good audio and it's easy to use. Start adding this up. This is probably about maybe $200 worth of equipment, give or take, but it's worth the investment. So that's my presentation, Brother Jones. And if brothers have any more questions, at some point, Brother Jones will post our ASA Kappa League TV video, I'm assuming, where you can see some of.
You are already posted.
I'm posted.
Yeah, I mean, I posted on Kappa League TV.
All right, all right.
And we also included it in an email that went out to all of the Kappa League directors.
Oh, wow, that's what's up.
All right, so yeah, so basically, Noops, what we'll be looking to do over the course of this year is to put together all of these different reports, and then at our centennial, be able to have an evening where we have maybe, 35, 45 minutes of Kappa League TV reports from across the country, like it's a real, news program. Right, so that's why we're really going to be about making sure that the presentation is what we want it to be, that the young men are in their shirts and ties, that they got their microphones and their mic flags, because then that brands whatever it is that we're talking about. And I don't know if you Noops are really paying attention to this, but
I'm on that call.
It doesn't exist.
Right, it's almost done.
In nature, you have young men, young Black men in shirts and ties asking intelligent questions of other intelligent Black people, and they're answering them intelligently. You can't get this. I don't think there's any place else on TV or the internet where this is actually happening. So this is a program that has tremendous growth potential in terms of us being able to talk to Noops that are highly placed. So for instance, there's a Noop that's the vice president of Fox Sports West. And we could ask him about, you know, do they do internships and stuff like that? Or we can show him what we're doing and then say, hey, do you guys have any opportunities for young men like these that are doing what it is that you do? And the answer is, by and large, by the time a Noop gets to be about 50 or so, he's a baller in whatever field of human endeavor he is engaged in, he is achieving in it, which means that he has access to the keys to the kingdom. And part of what we're doing here is creating something so we're not constantly coming to those Noops and asking them for stuff. We're instead coming to them and presenting what we've already done. And then asking, is there a place within your matrix where young men like these, where your company reaches out to young men like these? And the overall answer is almost always yes. They just don't have a way to connect to us. So what you guys are doing here is that professional connection from Universal Studios to Kappa League, from Fox Sports West to Kappa League. All of that is done digitally, and it's going to be done with the stories that you're telling. So, so we're very excited about it, and I think that these stories are going to be the year after COVID, which is a whole nother kind of thing that we don't all really understand what that means just yet. You know, who are these young men coming out of a pandemic? We didn't have that when we were teenagers. So there was an effect on them, and we want them to have a voice to be able to talk about the world they see and how they relate to it and the whole thing. So I'm very excited about that. Did any of you Noops have any other questions at all about what's going on?
I think if this PowerPoint is again in the drive, it's going to help. We're very action oriented over here in NRWP. I mean, the one commentary I will say about what you just said about the young men, you know, right now is a good time for Black men who are over between 40 and 50 in the manosphere on YouTube. I won't call out the names. I won't call out the names, but everyone knows that Black manosphere is really taking over, and there's a thirst to hear our voice. So, you know, if we can get them in this digital platform for that next wave to be in that ecosystem of Black manosphere, I think we'll see the fruits of our labor later on.
I agree. Any other thoughts? I see Fort Lauderdale just came on. How you Noobs doing?
Doing well, doing well. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, you know, you the music video making Noob, so we got high expectations.
Oh yeah, we're coming hard this next go around.
Yeah, if you guys haven't been to Kappa League TV recently, our trailer for Kappa League TV is basically the video that the Noobs from Fort Lauderdale did last year to announce who their college signings were. Really, really high level stuff. So right now we're talking about the media club and setting up how the news reports are doing, but there's also going to be space for more creative things because, you know, college signing day is coming up, and, you know, young men want to style and profile, I'm sure. And Fort Lauderdale kind of set the tone for how we use our resources to raise everything up to the next level. So they had one of the Noops as a pilot. They took them out to the airport and had these kids getting on and off the airplanes and sitting down and talking about their vision of who they are and how Kappa League has brought them to the next level in their understanding about life. And what a tremendous example of how to use both creativity and networking to give these young men a chance to shine. So, you know, let's get this part started. And then let's move into the more creative spaces where we'll get more and more of our kids involved. So one last thing, if there's not any more questions, I wanted to ask all of you noobs is to please, at the next Kappa League meeting, put Kappa League TV subscriptions as an item of new business. You know, it's right where it fits in Robert's Rules of Order. And just ask if everybody is signed up for Kappa League TV. And if they haven't subscribed yet, this is parents, noops, and Kappa Leaguers to have them subscribe right there on the spot. Because, you know, honestly, we got 7,000 Kappa Leaguers, which means we got 7,000 parents and probably close to 1,000 noops nationwide. That's 15,000, but we only have 7,300 subscribers. So everybody isn't subscribed. No matter what they say, they might think they subscribe, but they're not. And so the way that it works on YouTube, when you become a subscriber and we put out a new video, it automatically notifies the subscribers. So we're going to get, if we get more of our Kappa Leaguers signed up, then we're going to get more participation from them also. So, so that's it for me. Do any of the noobs want to, you know, comments, criticisms? You see a way we can do this better? We're always open, because every noob that I have ever met ends up being a baller somewhere. And what I can definitely say is that every brother that I've met pretty much could pick up and run his own program, right? Because that's who you brothers are. So if you have ideas based on your experience that says, hey, Keith, I think this could work a little better, we're always open to it because, you know, the noobs are ballers and you can't deny that. So, you know, sometimes it takes more than one cook to make the soup. And so we're open to that as well. Any thoughts, comments, criticisms, you know, anything noobs wanted to say before we call this a night?
Just thank you. You know, thank you for the feedback and the input. You know, you're as a director, you're always trying to just figure out different ways to do things, and you're trying to be individually creative. The one challenge you have as noobs trying to be ballers, we're all trying to, you know, to shine, you know, individually or as on our own chapter, create our own unique spin on things. And sometimes, you know, the uniformity is the thing that we miss. So finding some way where you streamline and create a mechanism where each chapter can bounce and shine off of one another is a real true benefit. And as you get into Centennial, you know, and you're looking at your video ideas, one thing as you open the video is to have someone bounce that kind of repeated announcement of, hey, I'm this reporter from this place, and I'm this reporter from this place, and I'm this reporter from this place. Have that as an open as you bounce around from country, from you know, chapter to chapter, and then roll into your videos. And that's a cool way to just introduce a lot of different chapters from across the country.
I think that
sizzle reel
is an excellent idea, Noob.
So
similar
question.
similar to the one we did at ASA.
Yeah.
It would be natural.
So what's the next project?
Well,
that we
hopefully
can prepare?
hopefully brothers will start working. If you haven't done a Thanksgiving project, maybe you're doing a Christmas service project. And
Well,
if not Christmas, MLK.
MLK,
That's a
got
day
it.
of service. So that gives you time to plan and prepare and get all your stuff together. And that's part of the situation, is knowing what you're going to do before you do it. So
Right.
you know who's interviewing, who you're going to interview, when you're going to interview, and how it's going to lay out. And then hopefully it all falls into place.
Well, one of the things that we'd like to do is to have another Zoom, but to have it for the Kappa Leaguers as well, as kind of a training for how you present yourself on camera. And we were originally thinking about doing that a week from today. So would that be enough time for you to gather up your Kappa Leaguers, or do we need to give it another week in between? What do you guys think?
I don't think a week would be enough. Because I think, well, I know we, as I'm sure most chapters already have their programming set, and you would need to shuffle a few things around to fit
Right.
a new program in, a new session in. So I would say at least a couple of weeks or something like that.
All right, and one of the things that I would suggest here, Noop, is that if the Noops already have their programming in, that's actually good. And one of the things that Kappa League TV is about is capturing the Noops and the Kappa Leaguers doing the stuff that they program, because all this stuff has impact. You might be taking the Kappa Leaguers to a basketball game or a stage play. You might be taking them to an old folks home. Whatever it is that is already programmed, that's the stuff that we want you to capture. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Noops are probably already going to be taking photos of whatever it is. So the idea that there's something there that nobody's gonna have to change to do it. The only thing that would have to change is getting a young man there with a shirt and tie to actually interview whoever the Noop or the Noops are that set the thing up, or to interview, you know, maybe the Kappa League president and say, hey, why did you come up with this idea? What are you hoping to accomplish through this? That type of thing. You know, one of the main things about production is that once you kind of got the basic part set up, that's really the big part. The big part is setting up the event. The secondary part is having somebody there to capture it and having somebody there to interview people about it. So if the Noops already have stuff that they want to do, programming that they have, what I would say is, what is your signature program every year? Because everybody's got a signature program. So in Los Angeles, it's called the Presents, which is kind of a botillion, you know, where the young men are in tuxes and they end up stepping and introducing young ladies, and it's a big social event. Everybody has a signature event. So that should be, if at the very least, we should be capturing what your signature event is of your chapter, because that's what's going to tell the world who you are.
Brothers, can you hear me? This is Brother Holmes from Burlingame, New Jersey.
Hey, what's happening, Brother Holmes? We can hear you.
Okay, cool. I did a couple of quick things. I actually work with a lot of young people, teaching them film, teaching them how to edit and things like that. One thing I would suggest is that if chapters assign like a historian of the chapter to be the one that chronicles everything as much as they can possibly do of what they do, because the thing that's always lost is the wisdom and the nuggets of information and things that happen in meetings and events and activities, that just to have somebody there, and you can always go back to that footage later and pull out of it something that you wanted to edit into something. But at least you had that event when that brother got up and said something, or that young man had a breakthrough, or something occurred, and you can always go back later. Because as this thing progresses, you might be doing documentaries, you might be doing creating other types of content, and you don't want to think, wow, I wish we had recorded that activity or that event back when, and so did this, or this thing happened, or that thing happened. So just have your historian in a habit of recording things that are happening, because it can always benefit the next group coming through what happened with the previous group, and the candid shots and all this stuff, because that's really, the event is kind of the culmination, but the journey is what the journey is where it happens. When you meet the young man, he's rambunctious and he's, doesn't have his swagger down yet, and he gets involved in Kappa League and he develops, and the brothers enlighten him, and then you say, look how far we came. That's really, the journey is part of the process. So I would just suggest to just be in a habit of having somebody around with a camera recording things as they're happening, because it's better to have it and not need it than wish you had it and need it. So that's one thought I had. The other thing I had was a suggestion. Maybe we could talk about having a festival, a film festival, because there's a lot of, first of all, there's a lot of buzz around film festivals, and there's a lot of young men creating content, and there might, an opportunity to have a red carpet or something and show 5-10 minute short films that the kids made about their personal interests. Like that could be an event in of itself, like a Kappa League film festival. And that, to really highlight beyond just the journalistic content, but like, the drama and the stories and the comedy and the things that they would create could be just as beneficial to them also if they want to pursue this as a career. So those are the two thoughts I had.
Listen, I think that that both of those are great ideas. And perhaps I'll be talking to the Noops on the Centennial Committee, but perhaps there's some place where we can fit that in. Maybe I think they want to have a dinner. And generally, that's when you have stuff like that.
Right.
You have an event where people are going to come and you got them all captured anyway. And it would be, I think, absolutely great to be able to have a Kappa League TV film festival.
Oh, thank you. It would be great. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, let's put that on the list.
Okay, sir.
Anything else, Noops? All right. Well, the only one we didn't acknowledge was Brother Robinson. Brother Robinson, we got you here. Did you get to speak on at all?
No, good brother. I was, I like to sit back and listen, but I'm excited. Looking forward to. Sorry, apologize for my video not being on. Just walked in from work. Long night, but no, I'm actually excited. I'm sure these fine young men is going to show their talents, and looking forward to seeing the content that they're able to come up with.
All right, Noops. Well, listen, if there's nothing else, we're going to call it here. And Brother Peebles and I will reach out to all of the Noops again about our training Zoom session, where we can give these young men an opportunity to, come on and get a shot at, holding a hairbrush and doing their thing, right? Because if they can practice it, then they can do it. And then that'll move us into helping you guys to kind of decide which events you want to cover. Please give some thought now to what your signature event is. We got Martin Luther King Day coming up. We got Christmas coming up. We got Black History Month coming up just over the next couple of months. And I'm sure that you guys will be doing something for one of those. And so let's see if we can get some coverage on that. And then if you come up with other ideas, of course, that speak to who your chapter is, that's more individual, then that's great too, because variety is the spice of life. So any other thoughts, Brother Peebles? Did you want to kind of close this out? Are you good?
I just want to thank the brothers for their attentiveness and for their attendance and their attentiveness, and hopefully we'll have some good products out there to see these young men doing stuff all over the country.
Yeah, and great. And we'll be back to you guys within a week to kind of tell you when the next meeting is, and hopefully all you brothers can make it back and bring one or two Kappa Leaguers with you that will be the spokesman for your chapter, and we'll get them trained up and ready to go. All right, we all good, Noops?
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, well then I'm going to leave you all with a hearty yo baby yo.
Yo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yo, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Noops. Be well.
All right, dude.
Yo, Noops.
All right, it's just me and you, Brother Peoples.
Sorry, I'm on mute. I think it went well. We'll see what we get.
I think so. So maybe 2 weeks from today for the training thing.
2 weeks. That's close to Christmas, but I mean, it works for me. It's the 13th of December. I don't have anything else going on.
Yeah, you know, the Noops, that's why I was asking the Noops, can you do next week? They said, hey, we're gonna need a couple weeks.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the key is finding the right kid, man. I like Kanye's Covington, the way they did the video, but the young man they use, I told him, bro, he need to have a little more energy than that. He's like,
Yeah.
you're watching Kappa League TV. Like, dude, could you put a little more energy into it?
Well,
And then to look at the other chapters, like he just showed up out of the blue and did that, and he was like more personality than the other brother.
yeah,
Other young man.
yeah.
So
Well, you know, people get nervous.
picking the right kid is essential, bro. Everybody can't be on screen. That's why you got other jobs for the kids who can't be on screen.
Listen,
I ain't made for that on screen stuff. You should know that.
I get you. You know, I think that this is why we're gonna train them up.
Right.
Because what the young man did is he showed up.
He showed up and he was suited too.
Yeah, he showed up. So to me, that's 90% of it is who's gonna show up.
They showed up, they shot video, they had a good interview session. It was decent.
Yeah.
It was their first time. That was their first one.
No, listen, I liked what they did. I like the simplicity of it.
Exactly.
And you know, over the course of the year, because Kappa League is going to get covered on their local media all around the country.
That's
so we're going to gather as much of that up. So you got local news reports as well as Kappa League TV reports.
Right.
And the marathon that we did 2 years ago was a mixture of all of that. And it came out really well.
Right.
Very watchable, it was like, damn, Noops are doing it. So, so I want to have one of those for each year that we can say, hey, you know, 2019, 2020, 2021. And and you can kind of just go through and see what it is that, you know, the impact that we're having on the community. And, you know, some of these young men, you know, somebody's going to pop out and they're going to go and they're going to do media arts at school, and they're going to pop out and they're going to end up, you know, doing news reporting somewhere or directing or writing. And their first exposure to it is going to be what we.
Well, what you should consider doing, if we have enough of these by MLK Day, which is a day of service, you should try to do another, what do you call it, marathon, whatever, and just run all of these service pieces and what we've done over the past, because I know LA did the Habitat, and just kind of put all those into one thing and let that roll to get more subscribers.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
We already got the content. We got ours, we got those two, you got one you just got, and the ones that we've done in the past, and just create like an hour or whatever and just roll them out in celebration of MLK Day of Service. Here's a look back on the Kappa Leagues and the service that they've been doing to affect their community.
I think it's a great idea.
Low hanging fruit, bro.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Something to think about. So I am going to put together the one that the two other chapters plus us as an example of if it was LA, New York, Chicago, but it's just Atlanta chapters, but you get the vision at that point. So maybe it'll show that to the next meeting. Well, it's already happened.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, just as a sidebar, we're setting up something with the MAC chapters where they're all planning on coming to the Black College Expo.
Right. That's right.
That would be a great opportunity to have multiple reporters,
right,
reporting from different parts of the Black College Expo.
Right.
You know.
So I did have the, I talked to my pro mark. They're supposed to be inviting you to the call on the 8th. I think it's the 8th.
Okay.
So because they talked about it on their last call. So as a follow-up, if you want to just loop them in to what the latest is, they're gonna let you join the call. So look for that invitation soon.
That'd be great. Okay, no.
They want to be ready for it. They want to be well in advance notified because it's coming in 2 months.
Yeah, it's coming in 2 months. Coming in 2 months.
All right, Noop, I gotta go and take out garbage. My wife's texting me.
Hey, listen. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes, sir. Try to
go get that garbage, Noop.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll talk to you
this week. All right.
Yo.
Yo.